What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you that how you can reduce the size of your CSS file as well as JavaScript file. So basically the main motive of this video was that I have found the issues in the websites, like those websites are really slow, and the main reason was that their JavaScript files and CSS files are not minified. Minified means we need to compress those files so that the spaces and other extra things get removed. So I will be showing you practically that how you can do for your website so that your website speed would be increased. So let me tell you an example. So first of all, I am going to create two files. So I have these two files. One is JavaScript file and another is CSS file. So you can see that once I am hovering over it, then this file size is 172 KB. Let me check its properties. So if you will go to the properties, you can find out here that like 172 kilobytes. So this is the file size of this CSS file, and another file is man.js. This is JS file, and the size of this file is 64.2 KB. So let me check its properties. So you can see that we have 64.2 KB. So this is the file size of this specific man.js. So let me open these both these files. So for example, I am opening this in my editor. So I have my editor here. So you can see here that we have this code of JavaScript, and you can also see that the total number of lines inside of this file is, you can see at last, which is 1532. So that means these number of lines has been consumed for this specific code. And let me open this specific file now, style.css. So if I am opening this one, open with Visual Studio Code. So now you will find out that this file size is also large, and you can also count the number of lines here. So you can see that 9274. So these number of lines are consumed by this specific file. So let's minify both these files. So first of all, I am going to copy this whole bunch of code, and let me copy this, and then after I am going to generate a minified file. So how I will be doing that is, so let me open a new tab. From the beginning I am going to show you. So you should go to the google.com, and here you need to search Minify CSS. So here you can see that cssminifier.com. So you should click over it, and now I'm going to paste that specific code which I just copied over here. So let me paste that code here. Yeah. So now you can see that this whole bunch of code is for the CSS which we had, and now I'm interested to minify this file. So what I need to do is I need to click on this specific minify button. So once I will be clicking over it, then the minified file output would be generated over here. So I have to wait for a while until this file is generated. So now you can see that this code is minified. Now let me copy this code, and I'm going to create a new file here. So let me create a new file, and that file name is, for example, this was the earlier was style.css. This name is style.min.css, and let me open this file into the editor. And now I am going to copy, I'm going to paste that code over here. So now you can see that total number of lines are 6 only. Now you can see that in a single line the whole CSS code has been added. And now let me save this code, and again I am also going to copy this man.js file. Sorry, already I have opened over here. So now you can see that we had 1532 lines of code. Let me copy this whole, and let me paste it into the minified generator for the JS. So let me search it over here. So you should also search here minified JS. JavaScript minifier. So you should click over it and you will be getting this type of screen here. So this is for the JS. So now I'm going to paste it over here, the whole code of the JS. I have pasted that, and now let me click on Minify. So this will be helping us to minify the whole JavaScript code, and that is over here. This is the output. Now let me copy this to clipboard, and I'm going to create a new file again here. So the earlier file name was man.js, and this name is man.min.js. all right, and I'm going to paste that minified code inside of this. So let me open this in the editor, and now I'm going to paste it over here. So here you can see that in the single line this has been added. I mean, the code of JavaScript minified file is only in the single line. all right, so here you can see that. Let me save this code. Now let me do the comparison. First of all, you can see that this is the style.css file. This was 9274 number of lines, and when I minified, then it become too short that it is consuming only 6 lines of code. And if you will see on the man.js, this was 1532 lines of code, and when I minified, and this is only in the single line. all right, so let's compare the size. So you already know that this man.js file size is 64.2 KB, and now let's compare man.minified.js. So you can see that this file size is 47 KB. So let me open its properties. So now you can see here that 47.1 KB. So that means the earlier original file size was 64 KB, 64.2 KB, and this new minified file has 47.1 KB. So that means the file size has been reduced. So in the same way, if you will compare this style.css, so if you will check the properties, you can see that this file size is 172 KB. So this was the CSS file, normal CSS, and when I minified, then its size get reduced, 141. This was 172 and this is 141. So you can also check its properties, and here you can see that we have 141 KB. all right, so this is the way to reduce the file size of your website. So in that way you will be able to reduce the load of your server. all right, when CSS and JavaScript file loads from your server, then if the file size is less, then that means it would be more quicker to get the response. all right, if your user is using your website, then of course CSS files and JS files would be loading, and at that moment if the file size would be less, then if there is the slow internet connection, then of course still if the file size is lightweight, then definitely it would be more quicker to load. all right, so this is the one thing. For example, you are interested to you are having a minified file, and you already know that we have this type of code, and if you are interested to beautify this one, then how you will be doing that? You should again copy this whole bunch of code. So for example, I just copied, and then after I need to go to the JS beautifier. So currently I just copied this minified file of JS, and now I am interested to beautify that. So I have to use any of the code, any of the website here online, and let me paste it over here. I have pasted the code, and let me click on beautify code. So once I will be clicking on the beautify code, then you will be getting this type of response. So you can see that we have this code again in the beautified format. all right, so you can again copy this, and if you are interested, you can also paste it over here, but I am not interested to use it for now, so let's leave it as it is. So this is the old code. all right, so I was just giving you the concept that if you have this type of code and you are interested to beautify that so that you could able to understand, so at that moment you will have to use that online beautifier. So in the same way, if you are interested to beautify this style.css file, then again you need to copy this. So let me copy this code, and again I'm going to the online Beautify CSS beautifier, and let me click on this first link. So these are the tools which are available online, and these are helping us to beautify. So let me paste it over here. So now you will be finding out that this is the code and I'm interested to beautify this one. So let's click on Beautify CSS. So once I will be clicking on Beautify CSS, then you will see that this code has been beautified. Now you can scroll it down and you can see over here that the whole bunch of code which we had in the minified format, so now this is beautified. I mean, this is human readable. Now you can able to filter out that which tag has which property, so this is easier to read. All right, but if we have the minified file, then that is difficult. Currently you can see that this is only in the single line, so you will no more able to understand that where is the property of specific ID or class name. All right, but here you can understand it easily. So this is the way to beautify the CSS and also beautify the JS, and how to minify those JS files and how to minify those CSS files. So this is the way to reduce the file size of your websites, because in that way your website speed would drastically improve. Why? Because I already told you that when your user is visiting on your website, then of course there are a lot of files which are loading to his or her browser. So at that moment, if the file size would be lesser, I mean lightweight, then it would be easier to load. I mean, it would be more quicker from your server, that the file size would be loaded very fast, and at that moment the user will not experience any slow internet connection or maybe any other problem. All right, because if he will have the slow internet connection, but still he will able to load your files. Why? Because the lightweight files are over there on the server. All right, so this is the way which you can use. For example, you are developing a website, so initially you will have to use this beautified code, but at the end of the website development, once you are going to the production mode, then you have to keep it minified, because in that way your website speed would be improved. Why? Because the file size is very less. All right, so this was the information which I had to share with you. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you are thinking this was useful for you, just click on the like button and also subscribe this channel. So once again, thank you so much. So see you in the next video.